All right. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. You can go ahead, Jal, now and start. You want to unmute yourself? Thank you. Shabbat Shalom, everyone. Welcome. That was a great song that Jal was playing to lead us in this evening, singing about Shekhinah, which is the feminine energy of Shabbat that we welcome in the Shabbat bride when we gather together. We have kind of a dual theme tonight. And so just giving you a heads up, I'm going to at some point acknowledge that we had Tu B'Shvat just a short while ago. And then Olivier will talk about the Torah portion for this evening. So the music is, and the talks are going to kind of weave in and out of those two themes. But to start us off tonight, we have Celia, who is also a song that is common for Friday night service, welcoming the Shabbat bride, Lacha Dodi.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone. I gotta remember to re-cue my music. Okay. Lacha Dodi, take two. Yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 yai dai 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 likrat kala penei Shabbat mekabela lechadodi likrat kala penei Shabbat mekabela Shamor v'zachor v'dibur echad hishmiyanu Hamru yuchad Adonai echad El Shemo echad l'Shem u'tiferet v'litila Ay, 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 Penei Shabbat mekabela Boim shalom materet bala Gam b'simcha u'b'tzola Koch emune am segula Boi chala Lechecha dodi likram Yai dai da 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 dai dai Yai dai 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 Yai dai da dai Yai dai da 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 dai dai Yai dai 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 Yai dai da dai Yai dai da 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 dai Yai dai 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 Yai dai 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 Yai dai da dai Yai dai da dai 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 dai
You're muted.
Thank you. I feel like I need to be an octopus. You know, when you run these Zoom events, I feel like I need to be an octopus. Anyway, so we are at the part of the service where we are going to light our Shabbat candles. So while we do that, I'm going to play and sing, and I invite all of you to sing along. You know the words. It's die, 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 die. It's called the Waltz Nagoon. Yep. Okay. Ya da 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 ya da da ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 ya da 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 All right, give me a minute so I can light my Shabbat candles. And if Celia, if there's anyone in the waiting room, if you can let them in, or Karen.
I'm on it.
All right, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. We have members of our community who are lighting candles tonight in honor of specific events or people in their lives. John Denker is lighting a candle in honor and memory of the 8th yahrzeit of his cousin Mike O'Connor. Kate Elias is lighting a candle for the 21st yahrzeit of her beloved husband, Zenek Elias, and also for the brilliant production just a day before his yahrzeit of a play that he wrote when he was a young man imprisoned in the Tezerin ghetto during World War II. Wow. And Claire Petersky is lighting a candle in honor and memory of her father, Millard Petersky, on his first yahrzeit, a beloved member of our community. So as always, we want you to think about what light you are bringing in and what light that you need to draw into yourself for yourself. And the blessing for the candles is on page 1. And we cover our eyes. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Amen. I also want to share with you who our tzedakah recipient is. So tzedakah is basically taking whatever spare change or coin that we may find in our pockets, although we don't seem to be using physical currency as much anymore, but we have technology to help with that. We do have a tzedakah recipient, so the donations that you make are supporting this organization called Child Haven, and it partners with parents and community to strengthen families, prevent childhood trauma and its damaging effects, and prepare children for a lifetime of well-being. So if you want to share and support our tzedakah recipient, you go to beitalef.org, and there is a button that says donation. It has a drop-down menu, and you choose tzedakah. And especially during the times of the pandemic where a lot of children are trying to go to school online, they may not be a place with good Wi-Fi. Suicide rates have gone up for children and teenagers. So really, this is a very, very important organization and serving a very important purpose. So thank you in advance for your support. So I'm going to talk briefly about Tu B'Shvat, which has come and gone, but the energies are still with us. It is a Jewish holiday that celebrates the moment when the sap starts to rise up in the trees, where it's one of the first signs that winter actually is about halfway done technically if you go by the calendar, although we're starting to feel like maybe spring is around the corner. There's certain bushes, I don't know the name, I'm sure somebody does, that right around this time they start to show their little pink flowers, right? They start to bloom early. You're starting to see that. Maybe if somebody knows the name, they can put it in the chat, because I have some in my backyard and they're starting to pop. So this is that time where it's like, okay, winter's halfway over and we're just starting to feel the energies of spring rising back up. And just, oh, witch hazel? Is it witch hazel? Okay, crocus. Oh, I think crocuses. I think that's what it is. But witch hazel is probably doing the same thing. So yes, there's a lot of early bloomers, as they say, early bloomers. The other day I was listening to NPR in the car, as I often do, and they were interviewing this woman, an author. I'm trying to find, where did I put the notes? There it is. She recently released a book in November called Wintering: The Power of Rest and Retreat in Difficult Times. And what she talked about is that so many living beings in nature go through a hibernation of some sort in the winter. Of course, most commonly we hear about the bears that, hibernate. Squirrels have stored food. There's a lot of animals and, of course, the plant species that drop their leaves and everything kind of shuts down for the winter. They go through this wintering, right? Nature has given them permission to just retreat, resoul, restore, and be ready for the spring. But what she was talking about is that human beings kind of forget to do that. Of course, in Jewish tradition, we have Shabbat, right? Where one day a week we just try to retreat, resoul, restore, unplug. But as a whole in society, we're always still pushing through. And she talked about wintering not necessarily related to a season, although she feels that it's very important in the wintertime when you feel like, maybe you're just a little off, you have seasonal affective disorder, that we need to give ourselves permission in the wintertime to retreat. So many other elements of nature, animal and plants, they do that automatically, and that we should be gentle with ourselves and do some wintering, right? Maybe read a book or just try to dial it down a little bit. But she also said that wintering, of course, can be expanded beyond the winter. It doesn't have to be taken literally, but we need to make time in our lives and give ourselves permission without shame to not be on and available all the time to retreat. And that it's okay to do that. And then I thought about that when I was thinking about Tu B'Shvat. The tree does that. It pulls all the sap down, all the nutrients, and stores it. The leaves fall, and then it recharges until right around this time of year where the sap slowly moves up the tree and starts to bring, I don't want to say bring life back because it never went anywhere, but bring new energies of a new season and a new year up and through the veins of the tree. And so I just want you to think about that in the context of your life, that if you feel like you've restored and retreated enough, that you have the energy to get the sap flowing again. But if not, then give yourself permission to do that, to take some time, whether it's a block of time during the day, Shabbat during the week, or really the entire season like so many other species do, that it's okay to retreat and restore our being. So that's an image I want you to think about as we acknowledge Tu B'Shvat. And Celia is going to share with us a song that you may have heard as a children's song, but we're doing it with slightly different energy that is a little bit more introspective. And as you listen to the song, think about the energies that you have the ability to bring forth once your wintering is over.
השקדי הפורחת והמש פזורחת, ציפורים מראש כל גג מבשרות את בוא החג. ט"ו בשבט הגיע, חג לאילנות. ט"ו בשבט הגיע, חג לאילנות. הארץ משוועת, הגיעה עת לטעת, כל אחד ייקח לו עץ, בעצים ניצת חוצץ. ט"ו בשבט הגיע, חג לאילנות. ט"ו בשבט הגיע, חג לאילנות. ט"ו בשבט הגיע, חג לאילנות. ט"ו בשבט הגיע, חג לאילנות.
You're muted again.
Thank you. Team effort. We come to the Baruch Hu on page 5, and I'm going to, I actually tonight want to unmute, or if you wish to unmute yourselves, I want us to say it together, and then I will mute everyone, and then we will sing it together in our own space. So if everyone who wishes to unmute can unmute. Okay. Baruch Adonai Havarach. Bless the Eternal, the one who is
blessing.
Baruch
Baruch
Adonai Havarach Le'olam Va'ed. Blessed is the Eternal, the one who's blessing eternally. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da da ya da da. Ya da 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 da. Baruch Hu et Adonai HaMevorach. Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. Hamevorach, Hamevorach, Le'olam Va'ed. And now Celia will lead us in the Shema.
And may we unmute, or whoever would like to unmute, please join me in the Hebrew on page 6, please. Shema Israel Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Listen, Israel.
Israel,
The
the
eternal
eternal
manifests as
all that
is.
is,
all it is.
the
Eternal
eternal
is
is one.
One.
Baruch
Baruch
Shem
Shem
Kavod,
Kavod,
Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed.
Va'ed.
Blessed
Blessed
is
is the name.
the splendor
Its
of his
presence
presence shines eternally.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Shema Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Baruch Shem Kavod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad. 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 Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad.
And now we turn to the Via Hafta, which is on page 6. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha v'chol levavecha u'v'chol nafshecha u'v'chol me'odecha v'hayu hadvarim ha'ele asher anuchi mitzavcha hayom Alevavecha, Vishinantam Levanecha, Vidibartam Bam, Vishivtecha Bevetecha, Uvlechtecha Vaderech, Uvshochbecha, Uvakumecha, Ukshartam Leot, Al Yadecha, V'hayu Letotofot, Beinecha Uchtavtam Amizuzot Beitecha Uvisharecha Leman Tizkeru Va'asitem Ekol Mitzvotai V'hitem Kedoshim Leilo Lechem Ani Adonai Elohechem, Asher Hotzeiti etchem me'eretz Mitzrayim, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם. Amen. Stand by. So as I mentioned earlier, Olivier's talk is going to be about the 10 commandments, or the 10 utterances or 10 pronouncements. And I thought it was interesting how Moses goes up to the mountain, right? Which we can take literally, because in a lot of religious contexts, they build things high because they think it's closer to heaven, right? A lot of churches have a tall ceiling and then a tall steeple on top because they feel that will bring them closer to heaven. Of course, metaphorically, or in a mystical context, it's more that we're raising our consciousness. I like to think of it as an antenna. You know, we raise our antenna high so it can pick up the signal. And so I think of it as us raising our consciousness to a higher level so we can pick up those frequencies. We can pick up those more subtle sounds, internal voices, and a deeper connection to the divine. So I thought of this song as a wonderful tune to lead us into his talk. It's on page 19, and it's called Esa Enai. I lift my eyes unto the mountain. From where does my help come? My help comes from the one maker of heaven and earth. So whether it's more comfortable for you to think literally of looking up higher, or a higher consciousness. And in fact, I was thinking about this today as well. Oftentimes when we are trying to think, right, tap into that higher knowledge, we sometimes look up, don't we? Without even thinking about it. We don't usually look down to the ground. So this is a melody that we haven't brought in before with Esa Enai, so I hope you enjoy it. And it's a pretty simple melody, so you will be able to catch on fairly quickly. I'm going to do it several times. Let me just get it straight on my screen. Thank you for your patience. Here we go. Shamayim va'aretz, Esaena el harim, Me'ayin yavo Ezri, Izri me'im Adonai, Oseh shamayim va'aretz. Esaena el harim, Me'ayin yavo Ezri, Izri me'im Adonai, Oseh shamayim va'aretz. Izri me'im Adonai, Oseh shamayim va'aretz. Stand by while I bring up Olivier's talk. It is not coming up, so hold on 1 second. See if I can find another way to grab it. I see him. Nobody else does. So stand by 1 second while I try and sort this out. I would say talk amongst yourselves, but hang in there. There he is. Now let's see if I can share it. Stand by. Okay. Tell me if you can see. Can you see Olivier? No.
We could see it.
We can see your screen. I think you need to play the video and then share your screen.
Okay, I'll try that. Thank you for your patience. Can you see him?
No, we can only see your window with the files in it. So you have
Okay.
to physically start the player and then pause
Yeah.
it and then share your screen.
Or you can just click on that file. It should come up.
I did,
And it didn't, so I'm a
So-
liar.
and it
Try it the other
opens.
way.
Oh, I'm sorry. Everyone's talking at once. I did, and I opened it.
When you share this, when you click share screen, does it give you like multiple options to like share this?
Yes.
You need
Yes.
to click not on the file share, but on the video.
Yes. When I open the share screen, it gives all the options.
Okay.
And even though I have him up, it visually does not show me that option.
Okay.
So
Do you want to try sending me the file?
I can, it's kind of long, but let me do that. Oh, you know what? I have a thought. Yeah, I apologize for this. It worked earlier. So I'm going to try something else. I'm going to see if I can play it from, I'm going to upload it to our shared drive and see if I can do that. So thank you for your patience, everybody. It's really good. I listened to it. It's really good. So let me see if I can get it to upload. Okay. While that is happening, let's see. I will close it out again. Yeah, I think it may take too long to upload it to my drive. So hang in there, everybody. I'm troubleshooting the best that I can here.
I'm not actually going to share the screen.
All right, I'm going to open it again on my end. Actually, what Olivier often does is he has it on his desktop and then he starts it from there. So that's what I'm trying to do. And I'm going to try one more time. It doesn't even show optimize for video clip. It doesn't even show, you know, when you do a share screen, it shows you all the tabs you have open, correct? And it does not show that tab. All right, let me try something. I'm going to try and play it, and I'm going to try and share the audio because that is key. And let's see if you can at least hear the audio. Can we try that? Yeah, we're going to give that a try. So at least you can hear.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
Okay, let's try. Oh, let's try. You see my.
Oh, wait. Now we
That
can see
worked?
him. Yes, we
Yes.
can see him. Hooray.
Thank you for your
Shabbat
patience.
shalom.
Thank you, everyone.
I am so glad to be able to share with you a few of my thoughts on what is by far my all-time favorite Torah portion, just like pretty much all the other Torah portions. But specifically tonight on this Shabbat, one of the most fascinating piece of writing in the Torah, known probably worldwide, at least in the Western world and in all the culture that are monotheistic. Judaism, Christianity, Islam. The words of what is usually translated as the 10 Commandments. More precisely, in this case, the 10 utterances, the 10 pronouncements. Now imagine, and then the whole setup in Torah is there to really set the stage for us to really imagine what that moment might have been like. It takes 3 days actually for all of us at the foot of Mount Sinai to prepare for this moment of revelation. Once in the entire human history, God will appear to a mass of people and speak the 10 most profound teachings, words that the divine being can ever pronounce. I mean, we have to imagine, and the setup in the Torah is such that the mountain is trembling, the sounds are not listened to, they are felt, and I mean, our senses are completely upside down. It's topsy-turvy. Everything is just an incredible moment, an incredible event that requires special effects, really, that the Torah is trying to convey to us. God, at the top of the mountain of flame, speaks to the assembly of Israel at the foot of the mountain. Words that were so powerful that the Midrash is telling us that our souls flew out of our bodies and God had to put them back in because it was too much for us to handle. We couldn't handle all that we heard. 10 pronouncements, 10 radical utterances from the source of spirit. And we, more or less all of us can probably recall, if not all 10, most of them. And it's true that in Judaism and Christianity, those are slightly differently ordered. The first commandment for Judaism is, I am the Eternal One, your God, who took you out of the land of Mitzrayim, out of the land of Egypt, from the house of bondage, from the house of slaves, serfs. The second is, and I have them right here in front of me, you are not to have any other God in my presence. Sometimes translated before me, but I like lefanai as in my presence, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. The third commandment, often translated, do not pronounce the name of God in vain. You shall not speak the name of God in vain. One of the translation I have here, which I kind of prefer, is you are not to take up the name of Yud-He-Vav-He, your God, for emptiness. But mostly we know that third commandment as do not speak the word God in vain. And it's one of those that has come to our everyday life as do not swear using God's name. You know, you shouldn't say God damn it. That is just that would be anathema. That would be a grave sin according to the 10 Commandments. Do not swear using the name of God. Do not say God damn it. And here I am saying it again. And then I always pause and wonder to myself, if once in the entire history of humanity, God had appeared to us and gave us the 10 most important spiritual teachings, like a direct experience from the mouth of God to our ears. And the third most important commandment for that one time in the whole of human history, the third most important thing God wanted to impart to us at Sinai was, don't say God damn it. Really? Do we really believe that God had thought to God's self and said, okay, I have 10 things, the 10 most important things I want to tell them. This is our one meeting in all of history. And the third most important thing I think I want to really tell them is do not swear using God's name. I just can't have it. I just can't believe that the third most important commandment is do not say God damn it. And here I am saying it again. So clearly I don't believe this is what it is. Which is why I like this translation a little better, the one that I'm using, the one actually from Everett Fox, which is, you know, in moments like this really especially helpful. And he has, I'm saying it again, he says specifically, you are not to take up the name of Yud-He-Vav-He, your God, for emptiness. I like that, emptiness, for emptiness. But it begs the question, I mean, no matter what the translation is that we use, it really says you are not to take up, you're not to use, you're not to pronounce the name of Yud-He-Vav-He, your God. So to us who already know, if the third commandment is telling us do not use the name of Yud-He-Vav-He, your God, for emptiness, the question is, what is the name of Yud-He-Vav-He? Since clearly Yud-He-Vav-He, according to this translation, but other translation, though, might have it a little bit differently. I have here another one that says, do not swear falsely by the name of the eternal, your God. So again, what is the name of the eternal? What is the name of the eternal? Because that is the key question. I think if we really understand the third commandment, we can understand all the other commandments. Actually, all the other pronouncements. That's why also it's very interesting to keep it as the Hebrew has it, as pronouncements, utterances. And we know from the story of Moses and the burning bush, which we talked about in previous Shabbat, that the name of Yud-He-Vav-He is not a name. First of all, Yud-He-Vav-He is not the name of God, just like God is not the name of God. I mean, it's important that we understand that God or whatever else we use, right? God is not the name of God. God is the word, those 3 letters, just like the 4 letters Yud He Vav He, or just like the letters of Elohim, or any other word we might use to speak of the divine, let's call it that, right? God, those 3 letters are not, can never be the name of whatever it is we're trying to bring to our attention in the moment. G-O-D are really 3 letters put together to point to something, or to point, not even to something, to point to that which cannot be in fact understood as a noun, cannot in fact be seen or understood as a thing, as an object, something that would have a name or a name tag, something we could say, oh, God, that's that, right? G-O-D is the name tag for that which we are trying to bring to mind, right? God. But God is just a finger pointing to the moon, as we hear in other traditions, right? Something that is pointing to what the mind, in fact, cannot be allowed to ossify, to objectify. Because that which we are trying to point to, as many in Kabbalah has it, is a verb, not a noun. I mean, God is not really a good pointer. It should be Goding. Goding should be, is a little closer to what the word is pointing to. So I like this translation because it speaks of a presence, right? You shall not take the, you shall have no other gods, that's the 2nd commandment, before my presence, right? My presence. I mean, that's also a good word, presence, for as a replacement of G-O-D, presence. But also, if we had to have presence, we also have to have absence, right? Because the divine cannot be captured in any kind of positive way. As the Hasidic masters always say, you can only describe God as what God is not. God is nothing. God is no one. God is nowhere. God is no when. Because God encompasses all of it, but cannot be tied down, cannot be limited by any of it. So the best we can do with the name of God is the one that is revealed to Moses when Moses asks point blank, in that moment of his own personal revelation, what is your name? When he asks that presence, that presence that in the moment appears as a burning bush. And the answer Moses receives is, I am that I am. I am. And that presence says to Moses, go back to Egypt and tell them I am has sent you. Tell the Israelites, I am has sent you. And the Israelites, the slaves, right? The serfs, the avadim, are not outside. They are inside of us. And I am has been sending us a Moses, an inner liberator, to free ourselves from the constriction of the small I am. The big I am wants the small I am to dissolve into its big I amness. And that's why when we get that, then we shall never pronounce or utter the name of God, not in vain, but without consequences. Every time we use our I am, there are consequences. Because this I am is the I am through which creation flows. Through our mouth, through our thoughts, we conceive of a reality, and that reality between all of us becomes a world. So we're not, we're kind of co-creator, participants in the unfolding of creation. I think that would be a way to say it. So we have to mind our I am. We have to mind how we verbalize, create the world within and the world around us. What we speak, right? It's what we speak, we create, which actually is the direct translation of a word we all know and love, abracadabra. Abracadabra is Aramaic, cognative to Hebrew, and it means abracadabra, I will create, I will manifest, kadabra, as I will speak, as I will pronounce, as I will utter. So if we get the third commandment, that you cannot use your I am without any consequences. You cannot use your I am and that creating emptiness. It will create somethingness. Right? And so because of that, be mindful of how you use your I am. That's the third commandment. So if that's the third commandment, now we can go to the first commandment. Because the first commandment is one of the most fascinating of all of them. It is the moment where God awakens to God's self. I am. Anochi Adonai Elohechem. I am. What am I? I am Yod He Vav He and Elohim. I am the transcendent and I am the immanent. I am that which is nothing and that which is everything. I am both. I am both sides of the same coin. And all of this is my I am being manifesting. I am God-ing, moment to moment. I am that energy that becomes thing, that becomes reality. I am that energy that becomes reality, that frees you, liberates you from Mitzrayim, from the places of constriction and narrowness in your mind, your narrow-mindedness that is not able to know itself as an expression of my I amness. I am that within you. I am the Moses within you that seeks to liberate you from your enslavement to ego, from your enslavement to your false sense of separate self, from what some calls the false sense of authorship, the false sense of ownership, that which makes you believe you're in charge, you're in control. That makes you believe you're God, really, in your own world. That makes you want to control everything. That makes you want to manage everything. That makes you want to put your stamp on things, where in fact, what you are asked to be doing is let yourself be freed from that. I am that energy within you, as the first commandment said, the first pronouncement said, that is seeking to free you from that. That is seeking to help you wake up to the I am that I am as you. And when you let yourself understand that I amness, then you will not have, that's the second commandment now, you will not have any other God in my presence. Once you understand that I am is that which is manifesting as everything in every moment, in every place, through everyone, then there cannot be anything else besides that presence. And if in fact you create false gods in your life, like money, like power, like control, like fame, Whatever you idolize, right? It's really idol worshiping. It could be an inner idol worshiping or an outer idol worshiping, right? People of great power or great wealth or whatever the case may be, or great fame. Something we would seek. That is missing the point. That is chet, that is a sin, that is missing the mark. When we connect to that, then we miss the point of our I amness. We have externalized, we have created a division where there is no division. So really, if you understand the I amness, that is all of your I amness, you will have no other, there can be nothing else besides me. Everything will dissolve in my presence. The fourth commandment, keep Shabbat. Keep Shabbat, because I know how things are for my creation, and you're going to get lost in the doing. You're going to get lost in always running. You're going to get lost in the mind. You're going to get lost in all the distractions. But keep Shabbat, 1/7 of your time spent looking inwardly. 1/7 of your week, but also 1/7 of your day, of your waking hours, which actually adds up to about 2 hours of meditation a day of our waking hours. 2.5 hours. We should dedicate 2 to 2.5 hours of every day to inward practices. Fifth commandment, honor your father and mother. Be mindful of your ancestry. Be mindful of all that has shaped your conditioning, shaped your ego self. Be mindful of how that shows up in your life, how that limits you, how that creates perhaps distortions, how that impacts your ability to love and open your heart. Be mindful of the weight of your ancestry. Sixth commandment, you will not murder. You will not murder. If you understand the I am, that is I am Ming, as you, as every I am that exists, then there is no other besides that greater I am. No matter what shapes it takes, no matter what bodies it embodies into, no matter what people it dresses up as, right? The divine is dressed up as you and me. This is God's costume, if you like, which is why Purim, I love Purim specifically, where we get to wear masks. It's like what God does with us. God is dressed up as us, as you and me. So if you really get that, then the sixth commandment is you will not murder. Who is there to murder? You will only murder if you miss the mark, if you really live in a world of separation, if you really believe yourself to be separate from others, if you really don't understand anything of all that I have been saying, then yeah, you will murder. But that's because you are not aligned with truth. And if you're aligned with truth, you will not murder. There's nobody else. There's only I am, in all the I am-ing that it is doing through each and every one of us. The seventh commandment, do not commit adultery. Same thing. Again, if you understand the I am that is I am, then there is nobody else. You will not commit adultery. You will not steal, which is the next commandment. Who are you going to steal from? There's nobody else. You're stealing from yourself. You will not bear false witness is the next one. And lastly, you shall not covet your neighbor's house, your neighbor's possessions. Because again, the mindset is that there is no other. There is no them. There is no neighbor. Whatever your neighbor has is just part of the divine embodying as your neighbor, which is also you, but embodying there. And there is no there. Right? So there's nothing to covet. There's nothing you are lacking. There's nothing lacking. In divine consciousness, when we work from that place, there is nothing nothing lacking. So there's nothing to covet. There's nothing you don't have. It just manifests maybe in the house next door. But it's still the divine expressing. And so we're better off maximizing, beautifying, exploring, expanding the unique manifestation we are of that divine presence than worrying about what other people are doing with their manifestation. Let's be the most gorgeous expression of the divine presence that we can be in our limited ways, whatever our circumstances are. That's really what the 10th commandment might be talking about. So I'm going to leave you here. I'm going to leave you with breathing into your I am. That is so much bigger than the little I am we often limit ourselves believing we are. Embody the bigness, the vastness of your I am, and become the most gorgeous conduit for those energies of love, of compassion, of expansion to manifest in your piece of creation. Ken yehi ratzon. Amen. Shabbat shalom.
Shalom.
Told you it was good. All right, Celia is going to lead us in a song, followed by Jal, who is going to do a special music meditation for us, and I will talk briefly about what I want you to envision while Jal plays the music. But first, we're going to listen to Celia.
So we are going to be singing one of my personal favorite songs. I think it is in the prayer book, or is it too new for that? I can't remember. No, but you guys should know it. We've done it for a couple years now, I think. But please join me in singing Elohai Neshama. Elohai
So in just a moment, Jal is going to musically carry us through a meditation. And we've done this once or twice in the past where it's a music and imagery type of experience. And it's in 3 stages. The first stage of the music is just to become centered, to try and shed the layers of your to-do list and any stressors you have. Just a couple of minutes to get grounded and centered through breathing and listening to the music. And then there's what we call the work part of the music meditation. And this is, something that you maybe are working through, or and it's unique to each one of us. Something that, and actually you don't even have to necessarily think ahead about what it may be, but this part of the musical meditation may unearth some things. Just kind of see what comes out. We call it the work piece, but it's really like an unearthing and an arising of maybe some energies that have been locked up, right? And just what images come to mind, what feelings come to mind. Keep the breathing going to center you. And then finally, the last couple of minutes of the music meditation, Jal will, in his magic that he does with music, it's about recentering. It's about regrounding. It's kind of a resolution. It's like, okay, I've done a little bit of work. I've done a little bit of either connecting or releasing. And now I'm going to come back and return to the breath. So everyone get into a comfortable position and let the music take you wherever you need to go. Let's just sit for a few minutes and just focus on our breath. In fact, I invite you to do a type of yogic breath called Ujjayi breath, where when you exhale, you close the back of your throat a little bit and it makes a slight sound. So it allows you to feel and hear the breath on another level. It goes like this from the inhale and the exhale. So just try a few of those on your own. And take one more deep breath and reconnect to your physical surroundings.
And as we continue to breathe to ourselves, let us take our breathing and imagine a soft white light in and out as we say the names that you have placed on our community's healing list for this week. Craig Wilson, Daniel Clark, Hillary Wilson, Phyllis and Mike Levin, Yitzchak Leib, son of Bertha ve'Aharon, Martin Yani, Chris Mochel Werner, Marisa Lacob, Pauline Morris, Elizabeth Heath, Katie Cortez, David Shalloway, Leslie Shalloway, Alan Shalloway, Willow 8, Celia Curran, Leah Vetter, Jean Matson, John Gorham, Gloria Funston, Dinah L. Temwawi, Allison Shoshana's niece, Janet Lewine, Marsha Whelan, Chris Ferris, Darcy Dunnigan, Liz Spiegel, Cynthia D'Andriano Dufek, Antonio Bravo, Jerry Petitz, Susan Austin, Victoria Bealo, Mark Bealo. And we name in our hearts anyone else that has not made it to this list this week. Please join me in singing Hear Our Prayer, Misha Berach. Misha Berach Avotenu us the way. Mishaberach avoteinu, Mishaberach imotenu. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
And before we recite the mourner's Kaddish, which is on page 13, we are going to hold special light for the family and friends of those who have made the transition in recent weeks. Mark Montefusco, Shelley Oakley's friend. Mark Sinclair, Claire Petersky's friend. Carol Cohen, member of Beit Aleph for many years. And Carl Robert Finkelstein, Sandor and Michaela Weiss's grandfather. We also hold in our hearts the memories of those close to us who have passed over this past year. Marion Marika Gordon, Stella Altwies, Mary Rose, Dan Klein, Eleanor Gerber, Charlotte Klein, Alberta Hitzroth, Avram ben Moshe Veshandal, Marlene Klein, Mary Squeeze, Tim Schott, Janine Gilbert, Imogene Williams, Eldon Olson, Don Worms, Emily Swartz, Dr. Carol Stanley, Robert White, David Heitmeiler, Dr. Agnes Schuler, Dr. Dezo Schuler, Gary Crouch, Jonathan Sachs, Fern Denker O'Connor, Gary Marmer, Lauren Lee, Som Vang Sisamuth, Sari Lou Coden, Marco Antonio Florian Corona, Klaus Schuler, Bill Harris, Michael Ruff, Irvin Faludi, Rebecca Risman, and Paul Ponton. And all of those who have made their transition this past year due to COVID-19. We also want to acknowledge the energies of those whose yard sites we celebrate at this time of year. Anna Ansell, Barry Scott, Donald Veter, Harold Magid, Ian Ronald Feldman, Carla Lieberman, Louise Anderson Hoagland, Manuel Block, Mary Perrin Coles, Maurice Prolman, Michelle Chica, Mike O'Connor, Reverend Dr. Bruce G. Parker, Robert A. Lewin, Zenek Elias, Louis Stein, Paul Feinsod, Simon Chester, Hinda Koloff, Millard Petersky, Deborah Batts. And we hold in our hearts those in our orbit in this incarnation whose memories we hold dear. As we recite the Mourner's Kaddish, and I will invite everyone who chooses so to unmute themselves so we can say it together. Yitkadal Kadash Shemei Rabbah, Ba'alma Divrach Yirutei V'yamlich Malchutei, V'chayechon V'yomechon, V'chayei Techol Beit Yisrael, Ba'agala Bizman Kariv Imru Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah Melach La'alam U'almei Almaya. Yitbarach v'yitabach v'yitka'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shemei d'kudshah b'richu le'elah minchata v'shirata tushbachata v'nechemata da'amiran be'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shalom rabim shemaya v'chaim aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'Rabbav, Kuya asei shalom, Aleinu v'kol Yisrael v'imru v'imru amen. May the one who creates harmony above make peace for us, for all the households of Israel, and for all the peoples of the world. And let us say,
Amen.
Amen. I had this interesting visual as we were saying the Mourner's Kaddish, because many people that go to the Wailing Wall in Jerusalem, that's one of the things that they say when they're at that wall. And I'm just wondering how our ancestors would respond if someone gave them a crystal ball and they could look into the future a couple of thousand years and see all of us in our little separate rooms, in our separate houses, on our separate screens, yet all saying the Kaddish together. I just had that, what a difference a couple of centuries make, a couple of millennium. But we're still saying it. We're still saying it. All right. It is now time to, if you have wine nearby, which includes Manischewitz. Again, I just got to throw that in there. Just got to say it.
You and the Manischewitz.
And Celia is going to lead us into the blessings over wine and bread. And Linda will be offering up visually her challah for when we get to the motzi.
Shall we unmute, or whoever so chooses to unmute, please do so you can join in community and say the prayers together. Baruch
atah Eloheinu melech haolam borei bria gafen. Amen. Baruch atah Eloheinu melech haolam asher kishkanu v'nitav v'ratzavanu v'shavat kodsho be'ahavot kilanu zikro l'maaseh bereshit iluyot tefillah B'nei Kadesh Zecher Tfilat Mitzvah
Mikolim
Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh Hashavat. Amen. L'chaim.
Eight.
Right. Well, I don't have a challah, but I have challah rolls that are proofing downstairs.
Now hold on. We've got
Yes.
Linda.
Oh, there. I
Do
see
you want to
Linda.
highlight
has
Linda's
hers.
video? Or yeah,
Oh.
so beautiful.
Wonderful.
Oh wow. All right, ready?
All right.
Baruch
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech
Amos
lechem haaretz. Amen.
All right. Thank you, Linda. So before we wrap up our Shabbat services, there's quite a few announcements. So hang in there. I know we've gone a little longer than usual, but this is good stuff. So you'll want to stick around and listen to it. First of all, Purim is coming up. And of course, because of the restrictions we have of social distancing, Olivier is going to do something different. And it's actually something he's wanted to do for a while. He is going to do a special workshop called the Ultimate Kabbalistic Holiday of Purim. Mark your calendars for Thursday, February 25th, 7 to 9 p.m. Registration is open. If you're a member, make sure to log into your account to receive the member discount. And it's going to be following the Book of Esther, which is available online, so you can familiarize yourself. And it says, bring your groggers and hamantaschen for an evening with Rabbi Olivier, who will help bring light to the most incredible mystical discoveries of this holiday. I mean, how can you miss, I mean, with a setup like that, how can you miss it, right? All right. And speaking of hamantaschen, we're sending up a flare for all bakers, looking for members who are interested and willing to bake for this Purim holiday, and those members who are willing to be a hub, a physical hub for hamantaschen drop-off and pickup. So we have Beit Aleph members all over the broader Seattle area. So don't worry that you think distance disqualifies you from participating and being the perfect hub. So contact Karen. Her email is karen@beitalef.org, and let her know if you're willing to bake hamantaschen and or be a hub for people to drop off hamantaschen and for people to pick up hamantaschen. We also have a newly formed anti-racist and social action committee. If you would like to learn more or be involved, read about it in our newsletter on our website, or you can email anti-racismgroup@beitalef.org, anti-racismgroup@beitalef.org. Again, it's on the website and in our newsletter. And lastly, we are looking, check this out, for some social committee volunteers. Beit Aleph staff wants to have some fun, socially distanced ideas, and they'll be there to support you in the activities. So if you can think of some really cool socially distant ideas, whether it's socially distant and we're in the same space, remember Tashlich, right? Or it's something social that we can do on Zoom, maybe some cool online games or watching a movie or something in tandem with each other. We can have social interaction in this platform. So email info@betaleph.org if you have any cool ideas and if you would like to join the social committee. As always, Rabbi Olivier is going to be present for the Beit Midrash study, the Guide of the Perplexed, which will be held tomorrow morning, 10:30 our time. It's a drop-in, it's ongoing, it's free, bi-monthly, and we do it through Zoom. The links are in the email and website. And of course, midday meditations continue Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday at noon. All of this on our website and in our newsletter. And I just want to take a moment to thank Celia, to thank Jal, and to thank our members for being patient as we all navigated Shabbat services in Olivier's absence. Again, I felt like an octopus many times, and sometimes it didn't click right at the right time, but you've all been patient and supportive, and I thank you, and I thank Celia for her support, and Jal, of course, for his as well. Actually, while Jal was doing the music meditation, I had a fabulous idea where, so I studied expressive arts therapy, and I not only specialized in music therapy, we also did a training in art therapy, play therapy, and dance movement therapy. And especially when we're in this platform where we can be together yet apart, when Joel was playing that music, I really wanted to move. That was my visual. I was feeling my body in space. And because we have the ability to turn off our video, right, and be a little incognito, maybe there'll be a time coming up when we're still in this platform where we can have a music and movement meditation where we can, if we so choose, mute our video and allow ourselves that we may be self-conscious if we're meeting in a physical space together. But here with that degree of anonymity, we can I got a thumbs up from Celia, we can put on our video and mute it, and then we can just move to the music and let our bodies be part of the meditation. So stay tuned. All right. Celia is going to lead us in our closing song, which has a lot of energy. So speaking of moving to music in your space, by all means, go for it.
You will find this particular piece of music on page 15. It's one we are all very familiar with. Hallelujah b'chayai, hallelujah b'chayai, hallelujah b'chayai, hallelujah, hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, azamre lelohai be'odi, azamre lelohai be'odi, azamre lelohai be'odi, hallelujah, hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, hallelujah b'chayai, hallelujah b'chayai, hallelujah b'chayai, hallelujah, hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, nafshi et hallelujah, hallelujah, hallelujah. I'm not doing it again, I promise.
All right. right. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
So nice to see everybody.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat
Thank
shalom.
you.
So
Shabbat
Thank
shalom,
you.
everybody.
Thank
Shabbat
you.
shalom.